In the heart of the lush rolling hills of Nsukka, a village steeped in ancient customs and tradition, trouble looms on the horizon for King Chukwudi, whose rage is legendary. Paramount ruler for over 2 decades, he fears his kingdom is now on the brink of collapse, battered by a rival clan that seems unstoppable. Every defeat Nsukka suffers makes him angrier. The king's advisors, eager to please him and save their lives, whisper in his ears, suggesting that the gods are angry because the Osu, a caste of people living on the fringes of Nsukka, who are considered cursed, have desecrated the kingdom. Desperate for a scapegoat himself, King Chukwudi decrees that all Osu in his kingdom must be exterminated. He assigns his son, Prince Somto, the task of carrying out this unpleasant order. Prince Somto is the leader of the kingdom's most elite warriors. He is known for his skill and ferocity in battle, yet his heart is not as hardened as his father's. For several months, while he carries out his father's orders, he can't help but question the righteousness of the decree. His doubts grow even more when a Dibia, Nsukka, a mystical soothsayer, tells him that his future bride is the one chosen by the gods to break the curse and bring peace to the land, but he, Somto, must be strong to overcome many oppositions to marrying her, because his bride will be clothed in a garment that is cursed. Yet, by the appointment of the gods, she holds the key to victory for Nsukka in the war with her neighbors. According to the soothsayer, the gods have placed in her memory an ancient ritual that everyone has forgotten. This ritual will appease the gods and make them intervene and bring peace to the land. Somto is perplexed, he has never been in love, and his focus has always been on the battlefield. Many moons later, the sun is high in the sky, casting a golden glow through the dense canopy of the forest surrounding Nsukka. Birds sing melodically, and the leaves rustle in the gentle breeze. Prince Somto, weary from many battles, leads his warriors to a hidden stream to rest and refresh. As they approach the water, a hauntingly beautiful voice fills the air, singing a traditional Igbo song. Somto, drawn to the voice, walks toward its source. There, by the stream, he sees Azuka, a young woman with a beauty only the gods can bestow, gathering water in a clay pot. Her voice is ethereal, weaving through the trees like a breeze. Somto is captivated, his heart pounding in his chest. After a long while of listening and watching, he drew nearer to her, intending to ask her whose daughter she is. As he reaches her, he is shocked when he sees the clear body marks of an Osu. He recoils in horror, realizing the taboo nature of his attraction. He quickly leaves, his disappointment showing. Many days later, Somto cannot forget Azuka's voice and her beauty, despite her being an Osu. His appetite for food fled from him, he felt empty and heavy in his heart. When he couldn't bear it anymore, he returns to the stream, this time alone, and waits for her to appear. When she arrives, he cautiously steps out from behind a tree, startling her. Azuka is apprehensive, knowing that her presence near the prince could be dangerous. Somto reassures her, explaining that he is not there to harm her. They sit by the stream, talking in hushed tones. Somto asks about her life as an Osu, and Azuka shares stories of her isolation and the struggles she faces daily, amidst the recurring war with the neighboring village. Azuka mentions briefly dreams she keeps having of an ancient ritual that could end the wars and finally bring peace to Nsukka. Somto listens intently, realizing this must be what the soothsayer told him about. As they talk, the sunlight filters through the trees, casting a warm glow over them, making him feel a connection with her that he cannot explain. Somto begins to realize that the prophecy could be true, his future love might indeed hold the key to the kingdom's salvation. Under the light of a full moon, Somto sneaks out of the palace to meet Azuka in a secluded part of the forest. The night is cool, and the forest is alive with the sounds of crickets and distant animal calls. Azuka is waiting for him, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. Somto brings a small offering, a handmade bracelet woven from reeds, as a token of his affection. They sit on a fallen tree trunk, their voices barely above a whisper. Somto asks Azuka about the ancient ritual that might bring peace to the kingdom. Azuka shares what she repeatedly saw in her dreams, describing a ceremony where she performed a simple, but powerful ritual that opened the heavens and brought the intervention of the gods, leading to peace between the two warring clans. The ritual, if completed, could bring harmony and end the war. As they talk, their hands brush against each other, sending a spark through Somto's heart. He realizes that his emotions are being drawn to her, despite the dangers it poses. They share a brief hug, sealing their bond, knowing that they must be careful to keep their relationship a secret. Word of Somto's secret meetings with Azuka reaches Uche, his childhood friend and trusted advisor. Uche, loyal to the king, follows Somto to the stream one day, where he witnesses the prince and Azuka sharing a tender moment. Uche is shocked and angered, feeling betrayed by his friend's actions. Uche confronts Somto at the stream, demanding to know why he is associating with an Osu. Somto tries to explain the prophecy and his growing feelings for Azuka, but Uche is unwilling to listen. He threatens to report Somto's behavior to the king, believing that his actions endanger the kingdom. Somto, realizing that his secret is at risk, pleads with Uche to keep silent, but his friend is resolute. The confrontation ends with Uche storming off, leaving Somto in turmoil, knowing that his father's wrath will soon follow. Somto and Azuka are captured and imprisoned in separate cells in the palace dungeon. The walls are damp and cold, with the distant sounds of guards patrolling the corridors. Somto, determined to escape and save Azuka, begins to formulate a plan. He uses his knowledge of the castle's layout to find a hidden passage that leads to her cell. He manages to steal a key from a guard and carefully navigates through the complex tunnels. Along the way, he encounters traps and patrols, using his stealth and agility to avoid detection. When he reaches Azuka's cell, he frees her and leads her through the hidden passageway. Their escape is perilous, with guards on high alert. Somto and Azuka must move quickly and silently, using the shadows to their advantage. They encounter a group of guards near the exit, and Somto is forced to engage them in combat, defeating them with swift and precise moves. The final obstacle is a heavy iron gate, which Somto manages to lift just enough for Azuka to slip through before following her to freedom. After escaping from the dungeon, Somto and Azuka flee to the forest, where they find temporary refuge in a hidden cave. The cave is dark and cool, with the sound of dripping water echoing through its chambers. As they rest and tend to their wounds, Somto confides in Azuka about the prophecy and his father's decree to eliminate the Osu. Azuka, though afraid, remains resolute. She tells Somto about her own family's history and the injustices they have suffered due to the caste system. Somto realizes that he must choose between his loyalty to his father and his love for Azuka, a choice that would determine the fate of the kingdom. They decide to journey to the battlefield and perform the ancient ritual that could end the war. Azuka believes that the ritual's power lies in its ability to bridge the divide between clans, and she is willing to risk everything to see it through. As they leave the cave, they know that their journey will be fraught with danger, but they are determined to face it together. With their escape underway, Somto and Azuka must reach the battlefield to perform the ritual that could end the war. They steal horses from the castle stables and ride through the night, navigating treacherous terrain and avoiding enemy patrols. The journey is fraught with danger, as King Chukwudi's warriors scour the countryside in search of them. As they approach the battlefield, Somto and Azuka are ambushed by a group of rival warriors. A fierce battle ensues, with Somto using his combat skills to protect Azuka. They manage to defeat the ambushers, but Somto is injured in the fight. Azuka uses her knowledge of herbal medicine to tend to his wounds, demonstrating her resourcefulness and care. The battlefield is a desolate wasteland, scarred by previous conflicts. Somto and Azuka find the ancient altar where the ritual is to be performed. Azuka begins the incantations and songs, summoning the spirits of the ancestors and seeking their guidance. Somto, despite his injuries, stands guard, knowing that enemy forces could attack at any moment. As the ritual progresses, a violent storm begins to form, with lightning illuminating the dark skies. The rival clan's warriors, drawn by the storm's intensity, approach the altar, ready to attack. Somto fights valiantly to protect Azuka, but he is outnumbered and overwhelmed. Just as all seems lost, King Chukwudi and his warriors arrive, drawn by the same storm. The king is confronted with the sight of his son fighting to protect an Osu, and the power of the ritual unfolding before his eyes. The rival clan's warriors are forced to retreat as the storm's intensity grows, signaling the gods' intervention. The king is forced to reconsider his beliefs as the ritual's power becomes undeniable. He sees the courage and love between Somto and Azuka, and realizes that their union could bring peace to the kingdom. The ritual reaches its climax, with Azuka's voice soaring above the storm, and a brilliant light descends upon the battlefield, symbolizing the god's favor. With the ritual complete and the storm subsiding, peace begins to return to Nsukka. King Chukwudi, humbled by the events he witnessed, pardons Somto and Azuka, recognizing that their love was the key to saving the kingdom. He lifts the decree against the Osu and declares a new era of unity and acceptance. Somto and Azuka, now free to be together, work to rebuild the kingdom and bridge the divide between the Osu and the rest of the village. Their love becomes a symbol of hope and reconciliation, showing that even the deepest traditions can be overcome by the power of love. The story of Somto and Azuka spreads throughout Nsukka, inspiring others to embrace change and reject prejudice. The kingdom enters a new era of prosperity, guided by the principles of unity and compassion, and Somto and Azuka's love story becomes a legend passed down through generations.